Hello and welcome to the Archie Luxury channel. Today we're doing a story on the Royal Oak at the seaside. That's right. If you don't know this, I had a couple of days off at Coolangatta on the Gold Coast, and I stayed in a hotel that I stayed there as a child over 20 years ago, and it turned out to be a bit of a dud. The place was a bit of a dump. But one of the highlights was that I got to take some photos of my Royal Oak down at the beach. And one of the things I love about having luxury things, watches included, is that it allows me to try and take the perfect shot of them. And I've recently been experimenting with some zoom lenses. These are sort of magnified lenses. And it's given me a chance to play around with it. And I went down to the beach. This would have been about 10 o'clock, so I didn't want the sun too bright, and it's given me a chance to experiment with my beautiful Royal Oak at the beach. And I'm really quite happy. These are photos that you're seeing here. These are before I put the zoom lens on there, and I really love the fact that it's got the sand backdrop, and it's just a great environment to try and take some still shots. I mean, I'm only an amateur photographer, but you you try these things with the limited financial resources that I've got. You try and get the perfect shot, and it's always fun to go out there and give things a try. And this is a great. One thing I love about the two-tone is the contrast between the gold and the steel. And here's some shots here where I've put the zoom lens on. No, the Royal Oak's always been a special piece to me. It was released in 1972, which is the same year that I was born. So it's certainly got it's got the same year that I was born that the series was released. And I think the Royal Oak for Audemars Piguet has been an absolute godsend. It's the piece that came out in a troubled time with quartz on the horizon, and it really set the company up for being a Holy Trinity member and having a future. And it's a bit unfortunate. I'm not a huge fan of the oversized Royal Oak offshore chronographs, but looking at the classic pieces, I think they're just delightful pieces. And the interesting thing is with this piece here, it's 33 mils. That's excluding the crown, the diameter of the piece. And the thing about that is, you'd think, well, that's a bit small by modern standards. But if you go back to the time, this piece is from 1996. If you go back to that time there, a full-size Rolex Datejust was 36 mils. And I think this piece here feels about perfect as far as the dimensions of it goes. And yes, you can say by modern standards a wee bit small, but I think that's part of the charm of the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak quartz is the 33 mil size. It's not too small, it's not too big, it's just right. And if you look at the attention to detail on this piece, you can see that it certainly wasn't an economy model. This wasn't a very expensive piece in its day. And Audemars Piguet has gone on to be, you know, a very well-respected, well-regarded watch. And in Australia, where I'm from, there really hasn't been a lot of Royal Oaks available on the secondary market. I mean, you have a lot of Datejusts, a lot of Tudors, but Audemars Piguet, it's a brand that's in the same esteem as Patek Philippe. And there's not a lot of pieces on the secondary market. America seems to have had a lot more Audemars Piguet, of naturally larger population, but also a wealthier population in those times there. And I think the Royal Oak itself is a series of watch which is just iconic. One thing I really do say to people when they say, what's the perfect watch to get? Try and get iconic pieces. If you get an iconic piece, it'll always have a market. It'll always be recognizable. It'll always have people wanting it. You get something that's very much a fashion piece at the time, it's going to be a hard sell down the track. And I understand you don't buy pieces with an investment side in mind there, but it's always good to consider these things. You know, I mean, you'd never know with what pieces you have there when you want to flip or trade into something else. And having better pieces, you know, it's just nice to have some really classy pieces. I mean, just have a look at that clasp on this piece here. and you can see it's a very well put together piece. The Royal Oak itself has got an integrated bracelet. That's like it's a piece that was always designed to have the bracelet on, unlike say a Rolex Datejust, which you could easily put a strap on. Whereas these Royal Oaks were an integrated bracelet, and I never really realized it until I thought about it. And that's the charm of it. It's so well designed, it's so well finished, that you just don't realize it's an integrated bracelet piece. And the quality on it there, I mean, it's just fantastic. Have a look at the reverse underneath the watch there. It's got the beautiful Royal Oak engraved into the piece. It's got the serial number and the model. It's got quartz there as well, and it's just so well finished and so well done. And the thing I love about the Royal Oak is that the crown on the two-tone is in steel. Rolex has a gold crown to sort of play out the gold thing, whereas Audemars takes a more discreet approach. And the piece itself is just very, very well made. The way the links are put together, just the way every screw is done, it's a very much a luxury piece. And the fascinating thing about Royal Oak is that when the Royal Oaks came out, they were considerably much more expensive than any comparable Rolex. And I suppose in many ways there, it's easy to forget just how expensive this piece would have been when it was new. And the equivalent replacement sort of cost on this piece in today's dollars would be just under the $30,000 mark. And you know, that sort of money there, you're talking Patek on a strap, you're talking a Patek, steel Patek, you're talking a day-date president. That's the sort of money you're talking about for a two-tone Audemars Piguet. And the fact that it was quartz, when it was brand new, wouldn't have had terribly much difference in the price there. And just like I've had a couple of quartz Patek pieces, and the recommended retail price at the time was almost on par with the manual wine versions. So the amount of money that the pieces cost, these would have been very dear pieces. Are they bargains or are they not bargains? Well, I mean, I can see both sides of the argument. I certainly wouldn't want all my pieces being quartz, but as far as having a beautiful two-tone piece in the collection, I think this is a great piece. It's very Audemars Piguet. It's the quartzness of it. You don't have the ticking second hand, so it's done discreetly. It's using a very thin movement there, which is nice. It's a lovely piece to have, and I mean, I've considered, you know, selling this piece and getting the automatic version of it, but you know, for the price of this piece here, you think, geez, you know, do you really want the mechanical version? Is it worth so much more? And I think it probably is, but I don't know if I want to get rid of this piece. I probably want to keep this as a just a watch to have there in the collection. And you know, two-tone itself, it's one of these things. Fashions really change, and two-tone would have been the height of fashion in the 70s, 80s, and up till the 90s. But now, you know, the white metals are very much in vogue, like the steel with white gold, or the platinum, or the white gold by itself. And this just reflects on how times are changing. And I think two-tone's always a classic type of combination. It'll always have a market there, and two-tone is so versatile because it allows you to mix and match metals. It gives you an excuse to mix things. So I certainly think two-tone, it's always nice to have a two-tone piece in your collection, and this does it discreetly and nicely. The way the Audemars has the steel crown, I think, is a really great highlight of this piece, and just shows you the thought that Audemars has put into it. This particular model of Audemars Piguet has also got a clasp. There's been a few different clasps on them, and I think this is probably one of the nicer clasps, where it's got the push button there, and it's also got the exposed clasp itself. There have been some Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks, where I've seen that the clasp are like a Rolex shears, and I think this is probably a little bit nicer how they've done this. I think the Rolex shears ones were a little bit earlier. So this here is a mid-90s piece, 1996, and I think as far as a classic two-tone piece to have, just to put on for a casual to a semi-casual sort of environment, I think it's a great piece. I don't think you can go past it. And I mean, look, let's be honest there, the Rolex Datejust is just so passé. I mean, do you really want to have another Datejust on your wrist? And this is the thing. The Audemars, I think, is a class above, and anyone who knows watches would know what this is. It's iconic, it's a legend, and it's really not a lot of money. I think there's some good buys there. And if you've, I certainly wouldn't say that you want all your pieces in your collection to be quartz, but what's wrong with having one or two quartz pieces there, just to give your collection some balance and some variety. And it's always good to when you've got something as beautiful as this Audemars, you can forgive it for being quartz. It's just so well done. And the funny thing is that I've had comments, people say, well, isn't it a bit too small? But if you go back to 1996, this would have been considered perfection. And so it's kind of funny how times have changed and how everything has changed itself there. But that's the times we live in. It's a great piece, and I love it greatly, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.